Interesting story. Asylum seekers are abandoning their attempt to stay in the UK because they are afraid they might be sent to Rwanda. The Mail on Sunday have learned up to 10 migrants have already asked to be returned home rather than risk having their claims for refugee status over here. What bothers me about this is we've got to stop people coming across the channel. I still don't understand why they don't stay in the country they go to. I cannot get my head around that. They want freedom. By the way, I'm glad I'm not in the position. I'm very lucky that I've got a country. We can't imagine what they go through. But these traffickers have got to be stopped. They are wicked, wicked people. They are the dregs of humanity. They make me so angry. But if people are changing their mind, because let's face it, a lot of people want to come here because they hear about the benefit system. They want the best for their lives. But all these men are coming over without their children and wives or their girlfriends or sisters. And if there is a deterrent, then this seems to be, sadly, the way to go forward.
Yeah, it's working, Emma.
Is it? I mean, read the story. The story is... How that story made the front page is beyond me as someone who's worked as a journalist for a really long time. The story, when you read it, says up to 10 migrants may have changed their mind. There's no context about how many might have also done that before this scheme was supposedly in place. We are, at the beginning of May, we were at nearly 8,000 people who'd crossed in the small boat system alone. We don't even know if these 10 are people who claimed asylum having come over on the small boats. I completely agree with Pete that the small boat system is run by vile, vile people who are being empowered to do this because the system, as it should work, doesn't. But I'm sorry, it doesn't feel to me like a front page acclamation that you can make that it is working, and they've underlined is, when your factual point in your first paragraph is up to 10 people have made this decision with no background about how many might have made it.
But let's put your journalist head on. Look at that. Look at that as selling a paper. So many people are against them coming into this country. They'll go, oh, I'll have a copy of that.
Well, they will, but that's not right. You're
no, I know. I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more.
How much of it does it work as a deterrent, though, when those flights actually haven't taken off yet? No migrant has seen anybody actually go to
again,
Rwanda,
that's absolutely right. We can't judge it yet. Whatever your criteria, my criteria for what works might be different from the government's. But let's take the government's criteria as standard. We just cannot know if it works until it's happening.
How much of this is wishful thinking, do you think? We see these headlines all the time. There's one a few weeks ago where it was saying, you know, people aren't coming over now that they're scared about Rwanda. Turned out it was more to do with the weather. And we had poor weather, and once it got sunny again, we saw absolute record-breaking numbers over that bank holiday weekend. It's just something that we hope for in this country.
No, it's a great point. Wishful thinking. But we also need people to work. So we need people coming into the country. You know, since Brexit, we've lost so many people, and these people are willing to put a life together and work every hour God sends, which is the backbone of this country, which we need to get workers in because there's so many jobs nobody wants to do.